Welcome to Hands-on Lab with me. My name is Chirag Parikh, and in today's session, we're going to deploy Terraform resources using Azure DevOps pipeline, but we're going to create our Terraform config and ADO config files using Copilot. So in today's session, these are the topics we're going to cover. We're going to create a prerequisite to set up ADO GitHub repo. We then going to create ADO service connection. We then going to create Terraform resource group, virtual machine, Keyvault, all using Copilot. Then we're going to create ADO pipeline YAML file, and then we're going to use that YAML file to trigger the pipeline from the GitHub commit and merge. So yeah, everything is going to we're going to do it on our lab. So let me just quickly come out of the slide. And this is just my PowerShell, but let's just quickly go on to the Google Chrome, and I think I got it open somewhere, but this is where my repository is. Let me just bring it here. So hopefully you can see my GitHub repositories, and what we can do is we're going to just create a new repository here, and we're just going to call it Terraform with Copilot. If I can spell, and just going to here for now. The visibility of this repository is public, so you can take it if you like to kind of just take a look at the repo. And I'm going to switch on, add a README in here, and just going to keep this as it is, and just going to create the repository. There you go. So our repository is ready. Now what we can do is we can clone this repository on our local. So that's what I'm going to do. So let me just find the right folder for it. 1 second. This PC. Chirag Second, I should have been able to find the right folder for this. This one here. It should be on my desktop. So let's do stop. There we go. And I can do git clone, and I can then able to grab the URL from here, just there, because I'm already logged in to the GitHub. I don't need any other authentication, so it should be able to clone it. There you go. If you don't know how to clone the repository on your local and all those kind of things, I have already created a video which I will link in the description, so you should be able to kind of watch that and clone it on your side if you like to. Or kind of understand how to create the GitHub account and what are the basic steps to set up the GitHub on your local and those kind of things. So now we got the repository cloned here. What we can do, hopefully code works in this. No, not this module. What did I name? 1 second. Terraform with. There we go. So that should open the repository in Visual Studio Code, and which it has, but it is on a different screen. So we are here. So that's our repository ready for us to work with. Just so you know, I have already logged into the Copilot and it's ready for me. But if you haven't got the Copilot, you can download the extension, GitHub Copilot extension just from here. So GitHub Copilot. There you go. So if you see, I have installed both of this extension on my not this one, the one which is produced by the GitHub. So I have got this installed already on my Visual Studio Code. So that's all you have to do. You have to make sure that this is installed, and then you have to make sure that you got the license. So if you haven't got the license, I think you the responses you get is very limited. I think you can still run the Copilot in the agent mode, but I think the responses you get is very limited. So I have the license, so I don't have to worry about how many questions, how many tasks I ask it to do. But if you don't have the license, just so you know, you get the limited responses from the Copilot. So if you see the Copilot is on my right hand side, I can either ask or I can run it in the agent mode. In the agent mode, I get, well, even in all of the mode, I get to choose different kind of available GPTs or models. So for example, GPT 4.1, 4.0 and the new one GPT 5, and I can always use the Cloudy. I normally, when I ask any coding question, I normally like to use the Cloudy Sonnet 4. That's the kind of most reliable answer you get when you use this one. That's what my experience is. I'm sure GPT-5 would be give you much reliable as well, but this is the one which I normally use. So I'm just going to choose this one for now, and not Gemini, sorry, Cloudy, this one here. And what we're going to do, okay, so before we do this, we have to do some pre-steps. So I thought I have got some pre-steps ready somewhere here. So these are the pre-steps we have to do. So we got the GitHub account, which I explained already, that we created the repository, and there's a video as well. So I will put this in the description. VS Code with the Copilot extension, which I just explained to you. You need the Azure subscription. So I believe you have the Azure subscription, because we are going to deploy our resources on Azure. I will show you my Azure subscription, and we got that ready already. So if I quickly log in, 1 second, Azure. So that's my Azure subscription coming up for you. And I had done some few bits here and there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to delete this so that we can start from fresh. Just delete this resource group. Delete it. So while this is getting deleted, what we can do is we can go back on our checklist, and we're going to make sure that this is installed. So this is one of the prerequisites as well. We want to make sure that the Terraform installer is installed on our Visual Studio from the Visual Studio Marketplace, because we're going to use this on our Azure Devops pipeline. So this is what I'm going to do as well. If I go back in here again and click in here and press this, and I can, if I'm logged into the Azure, I should be able to then able to install it. I have already installed this, so I'm not going to reinstall it. But if you haven't, just make sure you do that as well, because this is going to be used on our for our code. So the next step for us is to create the service connection, right? So what you can do is you can open dev.azure.com, and from here I got multiple projects, but I'm going to join here, and hopefully that should open. Why is it asking me to log in? 1 second. Let's go back in the let's go back in here, and I should let me in. There we go. And I'm not using the Office Tantra project, but I'm using the personal project. I don't know why it is so slow. Something going on. Microsoft is probably releasing a new update, I guess. But once it is there, it's loading slowly. Thank you for your patience. There you go. So that's my personal project, and I just call it Playground. So what I can do is I can go in here, and then I can go to the project settings, and there you can find service connections, Service connection. There we go. And what we can do is we can just create a new service connection here. So that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to press new service connection, and then I'm going to use Azure Resource Manager as my option because I'm deploying the service connection for the Azure. And I'm going to press next, and then I'll keep the default as it is. So app registration automatic, workload identity federation or recommended as well. So that's fine. I think there is a pop-up, and we want to always allow that pop-up. I think it will ask me to log in, I think, and I want to log in onto this sub one. There we go. And there are no resource group. Let it be there, and I'm going to just say playground SC. Yeah, playground service, sorry, service SC, playground service connection, and just going to keep it as it is and grant access permission to all pipelines. So that's what I'm going to take for now. So then I will press the save button. I think that pop-up supposed to ask me for the login in, but let's just close it again. Refresh this and press the new service connection. Go to Resource Manager, subscription. Once it's finished loading, there you go. Yeah, there you go. This is what I was expecting. And I'm going to log in with my Hotmail account. Hopefully that should work. It's going to send a notification on my phone, so I'm going to open my phone and then going to accept that notification. What date is that? 14. Approve. There we go. Okay, so we are all good. So from here, I want to choose Chirag Sub 1 because this is the subscription we are using it here on here. So that's the subscription I'm going to use. Make sure you are using the same account because if you are using the different account, then you will have to kind of set up the separate kind of Azure connection and those kind of thing. So best to kind of just use the same account on the ADO. I think that's the kind of easiest way to kind of configure between ADO and the Azure. So once you select that, you press, you just have to give the name. So we're going to give the same name again, playground C, and then grant access, save. So once you save this, what will happen is it will create a service principal within your Azure tenant. It will also give the relevant access to the service, to the subscription, so that this service connection should be able to kind of deploy resources to your subscription. Yeah. So if I show you service connection roles, not roles, sorry. The rules should be here, but what I want to look at the application. There you go. So you see, this is what it is created on your ADO, sorry, on your Azure, and this is what the access it has given. So if you go on role assignments, you should be able to see the playground app has a contributor access on your subscription. Yeah. So if we use this service connection for our pipeline, it should be able to then deploy resources onto your subscription. You can always automate this. You can create this service connection automatically if you like to, but it's just for this tutorial I have just created manually. So once service connection is there, what we also need is the storage account, because what we're going to do is we're going to save our state file onto the storage account. So if there are multiple people working onto the project or on your Terraform deployment, they can work simultaneously, and there is no kind of one person kind of create the resource, but other person delete it, and then there is a kind of conflict. So the best way to do this is to kind of make sure that your remote files are stored, your state file is stored remotely. So that's what we're going to do here. So I got this kind of small PowerShell script ready here, mixed with AZCLI command. So that's what we're going to just run. So I'm going to copy these commands and go to my PowerShell. So before you run this command, you want to make sure you logged into Azure. I am already logged in. So in order to log into Azure, you just do AZ login, and also make sure that you got the AZCLI installed on your local, right? So in order to kind of run this command, you need to make sure that the AZCLI is installed as well. Yeah. Once you all logged in and all set up, you should be able to then run this command. Paste anyway. That's fine. So our resource group name is this. Our storage account name is this. And what we're going to tell it to just create a new resource group first. That's what it's going to do. Hopefully uh, on my Azure tenant, and that's what it did. And then if we go and create the storage account as well, I just chose the cheapest one for now, storage v2, and keeping the access tier cool. So look, it's just now creating the storage account as well. So check something. There we go. There we go. So that's created now. And if we just go and check our file, all we need to create now is the container. But in order to create the container, you need the storage key. So I'm going to paste the storage key, get the storage key here, and then I'm going to create the container as well. So we got the storage key, and using the storage key, we're just going to create this container. So we should see on our Azure, let's have a look. We should see on our Azure, the resource group which I just created a minute ago. I should be able to see that. So this is you see, so this is the storage account, and it's created into the Terraform state, and we should be able to see the container as well. TF state, yeah. So we're going to use, and it just created about a minute, 30 seconds ago, for example. This is the date. So we should be able to use these details because we're going to need that when we're going to create the Terraform config. So we can go back onto our Visual Studio Code and to our Copilot, and this is where we clone the repository, right? So now we're going to start giving the instruction to the Copilot. So let's have a look. So let me just quickly, one second. There we go. So I'm going to ask it to act as a lead platform engineer. So act as a lead platform engineer. So we're asking Copilot to act as a lead platform engineer for Azure, and then we are asking it to create Terraform config. If I can type config correctly, config to deploy resource group. Then we're going to say create Terraform, this form config to create Ubuntu 2004 virtual machine. Make sure to choose the smallest virtual machine, and we'll see what it will do. Size. We're then going to say create Terraform config for Azure Keyvault. Create public and private keys and save to the Keyvault. Right? Hopefully that makes sense. And we're also going to ask create relevant networking components so I can log into the VM from my local using its public IP. We're going to say make sure to use the latest version of Terraform as well, latest version of Azure RM provider. Yeah. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tell it that we already configured like the storage account and those kind of things. So we want to make sure that it doesn't think that those details are not there, and then it will probably try to create them or kind of give us the instruction that this is what you need to do. So we just want to give as much details as possible in the prompt. You can always reiterate them. So once you get the response, you can always change your you can reiterate and you can change your prompt and stuff like that. But we already have the information, so why not just give it, So create Azure DevOps pipeline. Um, Make sure to use Terraform because I don't want it to kind of run Terraform task. Sorry, I don't want it to run the Terraform command into the Azure CLI and kind of thing. I want to make sure that it runs it for using the Terraform task rather than anything else. Build phone audio. Then we want to make sure that we will just say I have already created Terraform state file configs which are below. So please use them for audio pipeline configs, right? And then we want to just quickly grab those details. I got it already ready somewhere here. I'm going to paste it here. And then hopefully that's it. It should have everything. And I want to make sure that it has everything I need. There we go. So that's all we need. I'm going to send this through and let's see what it will do. So there we go. So it's on work. So it is now telling me that it's going to help me to do this. I'm going to click remind me later for now. So let's see. I'm going to cancel this out for now. So it's trying to read the Azure summarize to kind of get the DevOps pipeline and those kind of thing. And you can see it's just telling me, so there you go. So it start creating the Terraform config. Let me create the comprehensive. So the main.tf is created. Not now. And then it's created the variables. And then it's creating the outputs. I generally don't need the output because this is not this is not actually a module. So I'm quite okay with the output, but let's have a look. So yeah, I just kind of created the output for everything. And then this is my main.tf using Terraform 1.90. This is actually, so I'll tell you what's going on, because whenever this uh, model has been trained, it probably wouldn't have the information of the latest version of the Terraform. So I think the MCP servers can solve this, but I think we're going to use the MCP server separately. At the moment, I'm not using any MCP server. I'm just asking the agent to create these config files. Yeah. So let's see what he does. So he's also created the Azure pipelines. You can see. For some reason, he's put everything into the Terraform folder. I never asked it to do it, but okay. So then you can see it has created the subnet. It has created the public IP. It has created the network service group, network interface, TLS. So this is for the private key and public key, which is good. I like that. Then it is also created the Keyvault, and it's saving the private key into the Keyvault as well. We're just going to take a pause here. So, okay, so it has managed to create everything. You can see it has created the Azure pipeline. Helpfully, it has also updated the README for me. So that's really good. I never asked it to, but yeah, that's good that the README is updated with all the details. So, and then there is this setup.ps file. I don't know what it is doing here. Let me just quickly take a look. So it is kind of creating the PowerShell script to local Terraform setup. It's fine. I don't need to read. I don't need this because I already got the setup. But this is just an extra, just coming from the agent. And then it is asking me to keep all these files. So for now, I'm just going to select keep, and then it has. You can see it has then managed to kind of keep all those files on my local. So let's just quickly review them. So on the main.tf, you can see it is using the Terraform version 1.9.0, and then it is using the Azure RM version anything greater than 4.0, which is good. TLS and the random provider as well. So that's fine. Then it has defined the backend, which is what we told it to do, which is fine. And then it has created the Azure Client Data Provider, which is good because it is going to probably need some details from that. And then the resource group, it has added some tags. It's creating the VNet, which is good. I never asked it to do, but that's good. It's creating the VNet. Then it's also creating the subnet within the VNet. So the range it is giving to the VNet is 16, and then it is using this subnet from that VNet, which is fine. And then it is creating the public IP, which is good. Then it's creating the NSG and allowing the 22 port. This is because I ask it to kind of make sure that I should be able to log in to the computer, so which is good. And then it has created the network interface security group association, which is fine. Then created the key vault secret. So private key and public key. So we're going to use the private key to log into the VM, which is good as well. And then at the end, it has created the virtual machine. So on the virtual machine, it must have used the resource group, the location, VM size, all good. Disable the password authentication is true, which is good because you're going to log in with the private key. And then here, it has used the Ubuntu 2204 image. And then it also passed some text. I don't know what it has put in the text, but we will find out in a second in the variables, I guess. So if you go in here, so in the text, it has put everything like that, which is fine. And then it has put everything like this, demo, all good. And if I go on readme, sorry, let's go on to the pipeline first. So on the pipeline, it is saying that it's only going to trigger when anything added to the main branch or anything to the Terraform directory. Uh, it's not using the correct service connection because we haven't given it the service connection. So let's just quickly fix this. So we created the service connection a minute ago. So we should be able to have the details, which is called playground SC. So we're going to go back on our Visual Studio Code and then change this to playground SC. There we go. And close this bracket. And then it's using the Azure subscription ID. Why does it need Azure subscription ID? Because really, yeah, it doesn't need variables Azure subscription. I don't know why it is created it. Why does it need it? Update. I don't need it. Get rid of this line and save this and go to Azure pipelines and delete this as well. I don't need it. So this is the thing, you get all the extra thing even though you don't ask it. So just want to make sure that you scan your code which you get from the Copilot. Um, and then the Terraform version it is using is 1.9.7. As I said, this is not the latest version. So if you want to just take a look, so we can ask Terraform latest version, and you can see the latest version is for today's date is 1.12.2. But the problem is um, whenever the Copilot model has been trained, this is the version it has in memory. So that's why it is using this. But as I said, MCP servers will solve this problem. So we'll take a look at the MCP server, completely separate video, but just want to kind of highlight that thing. Then it is running the Terraform plan using the Ubuntu latest image, which is good. And then it has used the Terraform installer like. So that's good because we wanted it to use that. And then it has used the Terraform task v4, which is good because we have installed that on our ADO setup. So which is good as well. And everything looking good. There is a Terraform validate, Terraform plan. And then at the end, if the so there's a condition here. So if the build is coming from the main branch, only then it is applying. Otherwise, it only run the Terraform validate and plans, which is good as well. This is what we want. So when it is applying, when it runs the apply stage, it will then run the Terraform plan again. And it will download the Terraform plan from the artifactory. No, I should correct myself. So the artifact is stored here. So when the Terraform plan is running, it is, I'm guessing, it should create an output. There you go. So it's creating the plan in the TF plan, and then it is storing that plan into the artifact called Terraform plan. And then what it is doing here, it is downloading that Terraform artifact and then using it. But again, this is all Copilot has done it itself. I never ask it to do it this way, but this is much better, you know. So that's good. So Terraform init and then Terraform plan. Terraform apply, which is good. And then it is also created one separate step called destroy. So if you want to destroy everything, you can always run this, which is amazing. Okay, cool. So all looks good to me. I have to make few changes here and there, but apart from that, all look good. There are outputs, but I'm going to leave that as it is. So let's quickly commit this. So let me just quickly open the where is terminal? Or we can ask it to commit everything for us, but that's a different story because you need the GitHub MCP server to commit everything. So you can just ask the Copilot to do it, but for now we're just going to do it ourselves. So git add git commit. It's going to pass in the message. It's going to say first commit. Oh no, my American keyboard. And git push origin head. You can just say git push, right? This is the habit I got now. But there you go. So everything is pushed, but that doesn't mean the pipeline is going to start running because we have to still create the actual pipeline. So if you go on our repo, which we have originally created, it should now have all the changes which we have originally put. And then this is the architecture overview it has created, the Copilot's created for us, which is good. So there you go. So everything is just here. And what we can do now is we can go on our playground project and we can go to the pipelines. And what we can do is we can create a new pipeline and we're going to say that everything is on the GitHub and we're going to ask it to choose Terraform. Is that the name we give? I don't even remember. Terraform with Copilot. There you go. Terraform with Copilot. So we're going to change this and then it should select the pipeline here. There we go. And we should be able to run this. Let's see what happens. So you can see it's creating the pipeline and straight away it failed. So let's take a look why it is failed. And let's troubleshoot this. Yeah, I don't normally like to explore TF because if you're using it for multiple environments, you don't normally want to exclude them, but it's fine because we are just testing the Copilot. Never. What is never? So look on our code. What did it do? It's a pipeline. I don't even know what the condition is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the whole. I'm going to get rid of the whole stage for now because I don't need it. And I'm going to git commit. Pipeline. Oh no. I hate my keyboard. Push. You can see I'm currently pushing onto the main branch because this is our first commit. In real world, you should create a separate branch and do all these changes. But because this is our kind of no one else is using and it's just we are doing it. So because we have now pushed it to the main branch, what should normally happen is you should be able to see the trigger pipeline trigger automatically, but it's not happening. Why is it not happening? Oh, it has. No, it hasn't. Let's have a look. Student new. There you go. So hopefully the pipeline code is correct. So hopefully that's worked. It's checking out the repository now. Great. It can able to install the Terraform on the onto the agent, which is good. It's going to run some Terraform initialization, which is good. Terraform validation has worked, which is good as well. Let's see what the plan looks like. So plan has failed. Let's see why it has failed. Failed to read the video files given the video. I don't know why it is given the Terraform variable files because now what we can do is we can always take that line from the from the here, and you should be able to kind of give it to the Copilot, and it should be able to fix it for you. But I know where it is causing this, so I'm going to just fix it myself. So copy this and just search here, because what it did is it has created this var file, but you are not actually giving anything into the var file, because there's no var file to give. So I'm going to get rid of that for now. So we're still going to keep the out command and save this, and just going to say fix pipeline push. Hopefully this time is there no auto this, yeah, we pushed it on the main branch. Why it is not triggering? Maybe it's taking time. So there we go. So you can see the pipeline is now triggering automatically. So all I need to do in order to get it to work is to kind of change the path. So kind of say that any TF file, and then make sure that it includes the main branch, as well as I added the PR block as here as well. So if the PR is created against the main branch and any changes is being done onto the TF file as well as to the Azure pipelines, it should trigger the pipeline. So it is now auto triggering. So you can see the Terraform plan must have run correctly. There we go. So we're just going to validate the plan. 1 second. So you can see it is creating the Keyvault. It is creating the well, it is creating how many? Uh, 13 different resources, you can see, and there is nothing to destroy. Obviously, there is no resources has been deployed yet. And virtual network, random string, subnet, public IP, all looks good to me. NSGs, and interface and everything. So that's the virtual machine. That's all look good. So yeah, all look good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to accept the changes. So I'm going to approve this. There we go. Give the permission, and hopefully, so this is only you have to do it for the first time. Hopefully the next time it will automatically pick up the permission, and then it should be able to start applying the changes. So yeah, it is now applying the plan which is generated into the previous stage, and hopefully we should see the application just in here. So I'm going to pause the video for now. Yeah, cool. So you can see the Terraform apply has failed, and it says that name may only contain alphanumeric characters and dashes and must be between 3 to 24 characters. So the key vault name it did not really like. So what we can do is we can take this error and we can go to our Copilot, and just we're going to say, mate, this is what you gave me. Come on, fix it. So let's see what it does. So that is the issue. The key vault name have strict naming requirement. So yeah, you should have known this. So I need to fix the keyword naming convention. The issue is that current format could exceed 24 characters. Okay, perfect. So what did you do? So actually, let me create a more robust solution. Okay, let's see. So let's create proper naming. There we go. So it made 7 changes. Well, 7 line changes. And now let me update the keyword resource. Okay, let's have a look. It's going to create the output as well. Because it's going to make the changes in the outputs as well, but I'm not too interested in the outputs. All I'm interested is to make sure that it creates the correct key vault. So let's just take a look at what did it do. So if you go to the main.tf, so it created the locals and it created the base name with substring, and it has made sure that it remove any underscores and have hyphen, and then it has also created the keyword name and it used the base name into that. And I'm guessing that is what it has used in here. There we go. Okay, that looks good to me, and I would like to continue with that. And now let me. It's going to try and run the plan from the local. So let's see what it does. You're missing the provider, mate. Let's say, uh, let's ask it not to run on the local because I'm not planning to run it from the local just for now, because I will then have to kind of define everything on the local. Right. So I'll cancel this out. I'm going to keep the files, and then I'm going to do is clear this out, cd dot, and I'm going to say git and git commit fix push. There we go. So hopefully that has pushed the changes, and hopefully that will also run the pipeline automatically as well. There we go. So that's running. It's going to run the plan and apply. So while it is doing that, let me quickly pause the video. So you can see the apply is now successfully completed, and it has given us a option how to SSH the VM, as well as it has stored all the values hopefully onto the so if you go to the resource, this is the resource group Terraform demo, and you can see the virtual machine, you can see the key vault, and you can see the NSG and everything is created here, VNet as well. So if you go on to the key vault, if you go to the secrets, we should be able to see the secrets here, but there is let's just quickly change this, create this. Normally you should be able to do this from the from your Terraform config, but because we are doing this for this tutorial, I'm just going to manually create this. So you can see I now given myself and the access, and I should be able to then see the secret. So there is the private key, there is the public key, and what we're going to do is quickly going to use this private and public key to log into the VM. Yeah. So let's see. What we're going to do is go to the PowerShell and clear this out. And we're going to say notepad, and going to say private key.pim, and that should open a notepad for me on my other screen. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the key vault, and this is the key vault. This is where the private key is. Going to copy this private key and paste it onto the notepad which I had created in the separate window, which I can show you because I'm going to delete the private key anyway. So this is irrelevant. So save this, and hopefully then we can go back on our PowerShell, and then what we should do, SSH I, and then we're going to say private key, and we're going to use the details which we got on the pipeline. Or if you haven't got the detail from the pipeline, you can always find out from the resource itself. So you can go in here and you should be able to see the public IP, which is this one. We need the public IP and we need the username. So I think if you need the username, you can do something like that. and that should be the username Azure user here. So what we need is we can go to a PowerShell again, and we can say Azure user and IP address, and hopefully it should let us in. It's timing out, so let's troubleshoot it why it is timing out. So if you go back on here and go to the resource group and go to the virtual machine, let's take a look at the networking first. So networking settings, and at the moment SSH is allowed from the any source, so that's okay. Did we create anything else? So that's the subnet. It's all good. So why is it timing out? Let's try again. I have the right IP, I think. Let's see. 172.71.216.87. Yeah. Why is it timing out? Mm, 1 second. So I managed to figure out the reason why it wasn't allowing us to log in into the VMs. So I think because all of the resources I have deployed was in a US West, uh, and that's the reason it was like taking some time for us to kind of recognize, and it will allow us to kind of log in into the VM. But what I did is I've recreated all the infrastructure into the UK South by deleting everything from the so I deleted the whole resource group and then just rerun the pipeline, you can see here, and then that has created the resources into the UK South. So now if we try to log in into the VM, let's see what happens. So the process is exactly same, but this time you can see it's a different IP because it's now deployed to the UK South. So I have already copied the new private key which was saved onto the key vault. So let's see. So we are going to SSH it using the Azure user, using the private key, and this is the public IP. So let's see what happens. And you can see we are in. There we go. So yeah, that's really it. You can see. Let's just quickly print this. So yeah, that's the host name of the VM. So you can see that we have now managed to deploy everything using the pipeline, and everything is in the code here using the Copilot. So yeah, that's the I think that's everything we wanted to do. Let me just quickly double check the my PowerShell my PowerPoint slide. 1 second. Let it finish loading. Yeah, so to get the commit and merge uh, and yeah, cool. So yeah, that's everything we had. Thank you everyone for for watching, and hopefully see you in the next tutorial. Thank you.